Hi. So you probably forgot that this channel existed, but that's okay, cause I forgot too. Hey guys, it's Ted and today we are going to be doing a little 2015 wrap-up video because it's now 2016 and oh my gosh, Happy New Year! Happy 2016 everybody! And we're basically just gonna be doing a little wrap-up video, which is basically gonna be me showing you all the books that I read in 2015. So let's get started. So the first book that I read in 2015 was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul by Jeff Kinney, which is the 9th book in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. And yeah, I liked it. Good stuff. Go on a road trip and stuff happens and stuff. And the second book that I read in 2015 was the second book in the Giver series thingy, and I've already read the first and second one, The Giver, and this one, Gathering Blue. So yeah, second Giver book thing, pretty good. Kinda not as good as the first one, but yeah, stuff and the third book that I read in 2015 was, I'm counting these as books, The Adventures of Tintin, Volume A Deuce. And if you don't already know, Tintin is just a little graphic novel series thing, and each volume has 3 of the Tintin stories in it, and they're not like the best thing ever, but I like reading them and I enjoy them and they're pretty good, so yeah. And the fourth book that I read in 2015 was Insurgent by Veronica Roth, and I reread this because of the movie and stuff, and yeah, the second book in the Divergent trilogy, and it's good. These books are ginormous, but I love them. And the fifth book that I read in 2015 was Paper Towns by John Green, and it's really freaking good and stuff, and yeah, you know, Paper Towns, Margaret goes missing, and Q looks for her with his friends and stuff, and blah blah blah. Read it for yourself. This is a signed copy. Be very jealous. And the sixth book that I read in 2015 was An Abundance of Catherines, once again, by John Green. Yes. And I'm pretty sure this is his most unpopular book, so yeah. People just don't like it as much as his other books, and I can kind of see why, but it's really not that bad. My sister started reading it, and then she really didn't like it, so she threw it at me while I was sleeping. Oh! But yeah, it's not that bad. Probably my least favorite John Green book, but I like it, okay? And the seventh book that I read in 2015 was Looking for Alaska, and by John Green, because John Green is awesome. And it's about Miles Halter, who goes to boarding school, and stuff ensues, and yeah. And by the way, if you're 12, I wouldn't say read this because it's not the most appropriate book, so yeah. Now, if you're 12, here's a book you can read, which was the 8th book that I read in 2015, and that was Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. The first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and I'm finally getting around to reading these, and yeah. And the 9th book that I read in 2015 was Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. It's basically about 2 guys, both named Will Grayson, and they meet in the middle of the book, and stuff happens, and it's very entertaining and stuff, so yeah. And speaking of Will Grayson, the 10th book that I read in 2015 was Hold Me Closer by David Levithan. And it's basically the play from Will Grayson, and it's basically the script for it, and it's written like a script, as you can see, and stuff, and yeah, pretty funny, entertaining stuff. So if you read Will Grayson, make sure to read this as well. And the 11th book that I read in 2015 was the Tintin Volume 3. So yeah, 3rd volume of the Tintin comic graphic novel things, and good stuff. Not the best, but good stuff. And the 12th book that I read in 2015 was the Percy Jackson and the Olympians Sea of Monsters. Second book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. I haven't read any other Percy Jackson books after this, so that's basically a New Year's resolution for me, is to finish up the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, but yeah, Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. Yeah. And the 13th book that I read in 2015 was A Work in Progress by Connor Franta, which is Connor Franta's memoir, and yeah, it looks really nice and artistic, and it has a wonderful feel to it. Oh yeah, the inside of the book is really entertaining and fun too. It's a good book. I did a review on this like 6 months ago, which was like my last video, I know. But yeah, it wasn't the worst video that I could have made, but I did look weird in it, even weirder than I look now. believe it or not. But yeah, good book, and it's beautiful inside and has wonderful photography from Condé Nast. Oh my gosh. And the 14th book that I read in 2015 was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, or Niven. I cannot pronounce your last name. I am so sorry. Yeah, this is just a really nice contemporary, and it's just really sweet and just like, but at the same time it's kind of sad because it's kind of about suicide, so yeah. But it's still a good book, so you know, love it. And the 15th book that I read in 2015 was The Death Cure by James Dashner, which is the final book in the Maze Runner trilogy, and it's crazy to think because actually the final movie in the Maze Runner trilogy is coming this year, so wow. So I can't wait for that, but yeah, Death Cure, good book. Thumbs up. And the 16th book that I read in 2015 was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, and it's a really good book, and I just do not have it with me at the moment because my sister owns it, and yeah, but it's a really good book, good stuff, I love it. And the 17th, 18th, and 19th books that I read in 2015 were The Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collin. I actually didn't really read them, I listened to them on Audible, and no, I don't have an Audible promo, but it's a good service, just so you know. But yeah, Hunger Games. Yeah. And the 20th and final book that I read in 2015 was Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Laura Miracle, which is basically a collection of 3 short Christmas stories that are all interconnected, and they're really great and very entertaining and enjoyable and all that good Christmassy stuff. And yes, good book once again. And yes, those are all of the books that I read in 2015. So just to keep talking about some other bookish book stuff, my plans for this year in 2016 are to read Diary of Wimpy Kid Old School, which is the 10th Diary of Wimpy Kid book, which is crazy to think about because I've been reading these since the 3rd one came out. And yeah, pretty excited to read this. And another book that I plan to read, which is basically a New Year's resolution for me, is Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. I've only read like 56 pages out of this thing, out of like 577. So yeah, New Year's resolution to finish this up. And then so far this year, I have read The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, which I actually started back in like October, yikes, but I was just reading it really slowly. And I finally finished it a couple days ago, and it wasn't the best, it was okay, pretty enjoyable, but either way, I'm ready for the movie now, so yeah. And then right now, at this very moment, well not this very moment because at this very moment I'm filming a video, but you know what I mean. But right now, I am currently reading Binge by Tyler Oakley, which is a pretty good book so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm currently 117 pages in, and I'm really enjoying this thing. So, yeah, good stuff. Apparently, I'm really getting into YouTuber books right now, so you know what? You can't blame me because these things are good. So yes, that is all for today's video. I hope to see you guys again soon on this channel, and hopefully this time I won't leave you for 6 months. So yes, hopefully I'll see you at least next month or something like that. Maybe I'll do another wrap-up video every month or something like that. We will see what happens. But until next time, stay Ferris!